Another day, another story. The seafaring Scandinavian warriors suffered from painful cavities and tooth abscesses. Still, their dental health was in some ways better than ours. Welcome to Taboo Eminent Channel. At the height of the Viking Age, seafaring Scandinavian warriors reigned supreme in Northern Europe and beyond. Yet even as they were terrorizing, say, the British Isles, they were losing the fight against oral bacteria. As it turns out, many Vikings suffered from cavities, plaque buildup, and tooth infections, and they employed various strategies to lessen the pain. Several studies have examined the dental health of Vikings, including one published in December 2023 in the journal PLOS One. For that study, a research team looked at the skeletal remains of 171 Vikings who had been buried in the 10th through 12th centuries outside Varnhem Abbey, the site of the oldest stone church in Sweden. Lead author Carolina Bertilsson, a practicing dentist and associate researcher at the University of Gothenburg, essentially gave each set of Viking teeth a routine checkup. She and two dental students used a bright light, a round dental mirror, and a soft toothbrush to inspect 3,293 total teeth, and then X-rayed some of them to confirm their findings. Among Viking children, they couldn't locate a single cavity, a far cry from today, where even in Sweden, which Bertilsson calls one of the countries in the world with the best dental health, roughly 20% of 6-year-olds have already developed a cavity. The rate is far higher in the United States. For Viking adults, though, it was a different story. Over 60% of those examined had at least one cavity, and one individual was found with a whopping 22 cavities. Bertilsson and her co-authors also found evidence of plaque and tartar buildup, as well as infections that would have caused painful, pus-filled tooth abscesses. You can see the traces of these things, even 1,000 years after, Bertilsson says. One Viking woman in her 30s had a tooth infection so severe it may have killed her, either by obstructing her airways or triggering sepsis. Even today, it's a serious condition, Bertilsson says. You need to use antibiotics. Sometimes you need to go to the hospital to get treatment. The dental health of the Vikings, like many ancient populations, was likely not as good as that of modern populations. The absence of dental care, limited knowledge of oral hygiene practices, and a diet that was high in carbohydrates and lacked refined sugars contributed to dental issues. The Viking diet consisted mainly of meat, fish, dairy, and some grains. While their diet was not as heavily reliant on sugars as modern diets, they still faced challenges in maintaining good oral health. The absence of dental care, such as toothbrushes and toothpaste, would have contributed to dental problems. Archaeological evidence suggests that the Vikings experienced dental issues such as tooth decay, abscesses, and tooth loss. The examination of skeletal remains has revealed signs of dental wear, cavities, and evidence of dental abscesses. The lack of dental hygiene practices and preventive care likely contributed to the prevalence of these issues. It's important to note that generalizing the dental health of an entire population, like the Vikings, can be challenging, as individuals within any population may have experienced different levels of oral health based on factors such as genetics, diet, and personal hygiene practices. Additionally, the study of historical dental health is limited to the examination of skeletal remains, which may not provide a complete picture of the oral health of the entire population. Diet. The Viking diet primarily consisted of what they could obtain from their surroundings. Fish, meat, including from domesticated animals and hunting, dairy products, and some grains were staples in their diet. The absence of refined sugars in their food helped mitigate some dental issues common in modern diets. However, their diet still contained carbohydrates, and the lack of variety may have contributed to nutritional deficiencies affecting overall health, including dental health. Lack of dental hygiene. One significant factor contributing to dental problems among the Vikings was the absence of proper dental hygiene practices. Unlike modern societies with toothbrushes, toothpaste, and dental floss, the Vikings likely did not have such tools. The importance of oral hygiene was not well understood, and there was limited knowledge of preventive measures. Oral health challenges. Archaeological evidence, including the examination of skeletal remains, has provided insights into the oral health challenges faced by the Vikings. Dental wear, cavities, and evidence of abscesses are commonly observed. Tooth decay might have been exacerbated by the consumption of acidic foods and drinks, as well as the abrasive nature of their diet, which included coarse grains. Treatment and remedies. In the absence of modern dentistry, Vikings likely had their own methods of dealing with dental issues. Herbal remedies and possibly even primitive dental extractions may have been employed to alleviate pain and address dental problems. However, the effectiveness of such treatments would have varied, and many individuals likely suffered from chronic dental issues. Individual variability. It's important to recognize that within any population, there is considerable individual variability in terms of health. Some Vikings may have had better oral health due to genetic factors or specific dietary choices, while others may have suffered more extensively from dental problems. In summary, the Vikings, like many ancient populations, faced challenges in maintaining good dental health due to a combination of dietary factors, lack of dental hygiene practices, and the absence of modern dental care. Examining skeletal remains provides valuable insights into the oral health of historical populations, but it's crucial to recognize the diversity within these populations and the limitations of archaeological evidence in providing a complete picture. Cultural perspectives. In Viking society, physical appearance held cultural significance. While there is limited direct evidence of cosmetic practices related to dental aesthetics, it's plausible that individuals were conscious of their oral health and tooth appearance. Dental issues, such as missing or damaged teeth, could have had social implications, impacting one's status and attractiveness. Symbolism and cultural practices. The Vikings were known for their intricate artistry and craftsmanship. Jewelry, including elaborate brooches and necklaces, was common. While there is no direct evidence, it's intriguing to consider whether dental adornments or modifications were part of Viking culture. Some ancient societies have engaged in dental modifications for symbolic or aesthetic reasons, and it's possible that the Vikings, with their rich cultural practices, may have had similar traditions. Rituals and beliefs. The Vikings had a complex belief system that incorporated various gods, mythology, and rituals. Dental health may have been linked to broader beliefs about life and death. Oral health could have been associated with one's vitality, and dental issues might have been interpreted in a symbolic or spiritual context. Rituals related to health and well-being may have included practices aimed at ensuring good oral health. Trade and cultural exchange. The Vikings were prolific traders and explorers, interacting with various cultures across Europe and beyond. It's plausible that they exchanged not only goods but also knowledge about health practices. However, the extent to which dental hygiene information was shared or integrated into Viking society is uncertain. Evolution of dental practices. As societies evolve, so do their health practices. The challenges faced by the Vikings in maintaining good dental health may have spurred the development of rudimentary dental care practices. Over time, communities often adapt and refine their health-related customs based on trial and error, shared experiences, and cultural exchange. Legacy of Viking dental health. The examination of skeletal remains provides a glimpse into the past, allowing researchers to reconstruct aspects of Viking life, including their dental health. Understanding the challenges they faced may offer insights into the broader health and lifestyle of the Viking Age. Moreover, studying the dental health of ancient populations contributes to our understanding of the evolution of oral hygiene practices and their impact on overall well-being. In weaving together these cultural and societal aspects, we can appreciate the multifaceted nature of Viking life, including how dental health may have been intertwined with their beliefs, practices, and interactions with other cultures. Viking diet was rough on dental hygiene. What caused all these dental issues? The Viking diet may be at fault. Medieval Scandinavians ate meat, fish, dairy, vegetables, and hazelnuts, all generally fine for oral health. But they also dined on starchy and sweet foods like bread, porridge, honey, and fruits, and they imbibed beer and mead, which over time can bring about chronic tooth disease. Previous research shows that other Viking communities, including in Denmark, Scotland, and on the Swedish island of Gotland, likewise suffered from cavities. Icelandic Vikings, on the other hand, appear to have developed relatively few cavities, though they did experience extensive tooth wear, possibly because they didn't eat as much starch and natural sugar as their less isolated counterparts. The Vikings, renowned for their excellent hygiene, did not take these problems lying down. Bertilsson's team found evidence that they pulled out rotten teeth, and also used toothpicks, a practice that dates back to the Neanderthals, to dislodge bits of stuck food. More surprisingly, Bertilsson's team identified 2 instances in which Vikings apparently dug into a tooth's pulp chamber, likely to relieve the pain of an infection. Obviously, they didn't have anesthetics, so it must have hurt a lot, says Bertilsson, who adds that the Vikings were not previously known to have performed such a procedure. Though unrelated to dental health, some Viking males also filed grooves into their front teeth, possibly as a status or fashion symbol. Medieval Europe, a bad time for teeth. Vikings were certainly not unique among medieval Europeans in having dental problems. It's a very bad time for teeth, Sarah A. Lacey, an assistant professor of anthropology at the University of Delaware, who studies ancient teeth, says of the Middle Ages. In fact, she says the oral health of humans first started to worsen around 20,000 years ago, at the peak of the last ice age, when shrinking habitable land caused dietary shifts. Primitive dentistry followed not too long after. As early as 13,000 years ago, tar dental fillings were being used in Italy. Due to their diets, hunter-gatherers generally had healthy chompers, although there were exceptions, such as a Paleolithic group in present-day Morocco with a fondness for sweet acorns. But when societies transitioned to farming, their teeth usually suffered, and they began looking for additional ways to treat them. For example, scientists have discovered that flint tools were purportedly used to drill into cavity-ravaged molars in Pakistan some 7,500 to 9,000 years ago, whereas a 6,500-year-old beeswax dental filling was unearthed in Slovenia. Meanwhile, ancient Mesopotamians, wrongly, blamed toothworms for dental decay, ancient Egyptians and others used toothpaste, ancient Etruscans fashioned gold crowns and dental bridges, and the Chinese invented the bristle toothbrush. However, modern dentistry dates only to the 18th century, around when the Industrial Revolution ushered in an era of processed flour and sugar that wreaked havoc on people's teeth. Until recently, Lacey says, oral health just keeps going downhill and downhill over time. Indeed, despite lacking fluoridated toothpaste, toothbrushes, floss and professional dentistry, Viking dental health, particularly for children, in some ways surpassed that of 21st century humans. Thanks for watching. Request you to subscribe the channel.